All right, October the 6th in agri-science. Today in class, we finished up our notes in media and soil properties. Yesterday, we talked about fertilizers, NPK, how those are the three main ingredients that plants need. We also talked about the pH scale. So today, the first thing, once again, these are the bottom two things in your module in the plant industry section. So continuing on, all we do today was talk about fertilizer application. So there's different ways that you can apply fertilizer. Some of this depends on what type of fertilizer you put down. Broadcasting is really broad. So think about when you put fertilizer or you're putting lime out in your yard. You're putting it in a spreader and you're putting it out over the entire yard or the entire area. That's called broadcasting. Another way that you can put out fertilizer is called side dressing. A lot of times this is done like in a garden. So if you had tomatoes or corn and you're putting fertilizer down in between the rows, okay, that's called side dressing. You're not putting it down over the entire area and you're not putting it right over top the plant. You put it beside the plant so that way the roots can absorb, all right, all of those nutrients that you're putting in. And then the last way is foliar. Foliar, you are applying the fertilizer directly on the leaves. Now, the other way when you're broadcasting or side dressing, you're going to use a granular fertilizer. So it's going to be hard. Remember, in order for a plant to take up any kind of nutrients, it first has to be a liquid. So foliar is a liquid fertilizer. If you've ever used Miracle-Gro, right, it's a liquid, and you spray that right on the plants, and then the plants absorb it up through their leaves. So those are all of the notes that we did today. So we need to finish up our outline on that. And then if you look, there are two other assignments on here as well. Fertilizer and pH applied. So the first one, when you open up that assignment, is the pH scale. All you're going to do is you're going to take this and drag this on the correct side. So if I thought sulfur went there, that's where I would put it. If I thought it put here, I would put it there. So all you're doing is you're moving these parts down here to the pH scale so we have a complete pH scale. So that's step one. The second thing that we have is a fertilizer labeling sheet. So yesterday we went over how to calculate weight of your nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. That's the NP and K of your fertilizer. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have fertilizer bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, and bag 4. So these will be the bags that you use for the corresponding problem. So bag 1, bag 2. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to write the manufacturer. So if we go down to bag 1, okay, the manufacturer is who actually makes this fertilizer. So that would be Scott's, and then complete or incomplete. So if you remember from yesterday, if we have a measurement for N, P, and K, it's going to be complete. If it is missing either one of those three, then it would be incomplete. So all you're going to do is highlight complete or incomplete. Then type the bag weight. And then what is the percentage of NP and K? So on bag 1, my percentage is 20.27.5. So I would type 20.27.5 right there. Now, pounds of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The final sheet that I put on here is kind of like a review of the math. It's directions on how to find that. And I put you an example problem on here. So basically what you've already done, right, for your problem is you put the weight of the bag and then the percent of NP and K. Well, the first thing that you have to do is convert your percent to decimal. So that 10% nitrogen, right, we move our decimal place 2 spots to the left. So 1, 2, and that's how we get 10. 20%, we go 1, 2, 0.20. Right? The most common mistake is on this 5. It's not 0.5. So remember, you have to move it 2 spots. So that's a 0 there. So it's 0.05. Okay? So that's pretty easy to do. And then the next thing you would do is multiply your decimal by the weight of your fertilizer bag. So for nitrogen, we have 0.10 times 40 pounds. and that gives us 4. Okay, 40 times 0.2 gives us 8 pounds of phosphorus, and 40 times this 0.05 gives us 2 pounds. So when you add all of those up, you get 14 pounds. Well, if you look at your problem on here, it says total pounds of NPK, right? So that's how you find your total pounds. And then finally, the last question is how many pounds of inert material, right? So that's really easy. You take the weight of your bag, which is our 40 pounds, and you subtract it from that 14 right there, and that gives us 26, and that's your inert weight. So the math portion is not too difficult and not too hard. So that is what we are doing today. If you have any questions, hit me up, let me know. And I hope to see you all back in class tomorrow.